Good evening. I am reconvening the December 9th, 2025 meeting of the Livingston Board of Education, the final meeting for 2025. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Present.
Mr. Cohen?
Here.
Mrs. Gong?
Present.
Mrs. Kemka?
Here.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Present.
And Mr. Klein?
Here. See, Dad? I was just testing you. Before we get started with some presentations, I just want to give the community an update on the superintendent search. So we posted the opening on November 5th, and we collected resumes through November 26th. 44 individuals started the application, of which 29 individuals officially submitted them. We've reviewed all the submitted resumes as they were received and provided updates to the Board of Education on the December 1st meeting. Screening interviews will be conducted this week, and additional interview rounds will be held early January and mid-January. Our goal is to make a recommendation for February with a July 1st start date. We're going to start with the girls varsity soccer team, our Group 4 state champions. It was a great game. I'd like to have Coach Brian Carr come up. Who is also Teacher of the Year for the high school.
So I want to first just thank you guys for having us, recognizing our team and their success. This is a program that I think is unique, not just in our school, but within the state. These girls are not new to success. They've been doing it for a long time. Many of these girls have won every trophy you can win in high school soccer. But this year they got the Holy Grail, which is the big one, winning the state tournament. And if you have ever made it out to one of our games, you've probably noticed a number of things. Probably first, you'll notice the intensity at which they play. Second, you'll probably notice their skill, because we have a lot of talented players. But you'll also notice how much they care, not just for the success of the team, but how much they give to each other. And probably the most unique thing about our program is these girls back each other on the field. So if the players are on the field giving everything they have, the girls on the sideline are constantly supporting them in every possible way. And it's sort of evolved over the years. I want to say 2 years ago, the girls started on the sideline, chanting for, general Livingston things, supporting their teammates. And that sort of evolved into something a little bit more individualistic. They started chanting individual player names, and they had songs for each other. And this is something that no other team in the girls soccer world or boys soccer world does. And this year it's evolved even further to the point where they're singing full-blown songs on the sideline. And it's that sort of togetherness which makes this program unique, which makes our culture really, really strong. And probably outside of maybe lifting the state trophy, one of the coolest experiences that I've had is we were playing Westfield, which is a team of in the soccer world, giants. They're back-to-back state champions. They haven't lost in 35 games. They've scored 40 straight games in a row. And we were trying to slay Goliath. And we scored our first goal, and we were up 1-0. And we were starting to feel the pressure, as you'd expect. Momentum had swung. And the last 10 minutes, we're holding on for really dear life. But I remember this moment in that game where our players started singing a song, and the song they chose was really, really unique, and it was perfectly timed, and the meaning behind it was awesome. Because we were being bombarded with attacks, and I'm sure most people were wondering whether we could hang on to this win. And the song they chose was Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer." But if you listen to that song, the lyrics are pretty cool. We've got to hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. I will not sing it. We've got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot, and you guys know the rest. So with that, I'd like to read the names of the players who brought home the first state championship to our program. Maya Ray, Ayla Sherman, Zoe Rappaport, Siri Reddy, Dondra Curti, Riley Cullen, Chloe Wright, Sophia Batia, Sienna Goldstein, Hunter Lanceman, Stella DeFrancisco, Gabby De Oliveira, Reese Manoff, Izzy Killey, Olivia Hans, Mariella Favel, Ariana Levitsky, Daisy Chang, Emily Fernandez. There's a lot. Zoe Nightingale, Victoria Kin, Dina Bojkovic, Casey Conklin, Ariel Stein, Olivia Giordano, Marissa Solomon, and Aubrey Chung. Thanks again for having us.
Thank you, Coach Carr. Very rarely do I make this and use the word I, but I have watched most of your games. And you took a lot of the words I was going to use tonight, because the thing I wanted to describe all of you as, we could certainly celebrate your championship, but the thing about this group is they represent a team in every sense of the word. If you have the privilege of watching our girls soccer team play, whether it was last season or this season, all the way through the championship, they epitomize teamwork. Work together, celebrate each other, are there for each other. It is an absolute privilege to watch. And those are the skills that are going to carry you so far in life. And so I will start with congratulations on being the ultimate team. And importantly, on behalf of the board, state champions. Congratulations.
If we could get you all up front for a picture.
Don't worry, we have a tradition of letting you leave afterwards.
Okay, so we started the reports with some athletic excellence, and now we're going to turn to academic excellence. Mr. Muhammad?
Good evening. Good evening. Please join me in congratulating our National Merit semifinalists. Veer Agarwal, Rohit Azagu, Haset Belachu, Abhiman Shandan, Grace Cho, Kayla Fang, Lev Koganov, Sanvi Kulkarni, Gwen Misthal, Antara Nayak, Twisha Reiki, Ayan Shah, Emily Shu, Anirudh Srivastava, my apologies. Jaden Tang, Egor Tolstenkov, Roger Zhang. This honor is earned by less than 1% of the students in this country. We are very proud of you, your hard work, and the example you've set for this community. You should be very proud. Each student will come up and present a book to their teacher that they've chosen who has really made an impact in their lives. So without further ado, Veer.
Hi, I'm Veer, and I had the pleasure of having Miss Virgil as my sophomore year English teacher. I chose her because she was instrumental in strengthening my reading and writing skills, while also teaching me the values of hard work, collaboration, and focusing on the learning process rather than just the results. Miss Virgil's also offered me tremendous support in the extracurricular activities I've pursued in high school. And so I selected the book And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini for her, since we've read 2 of his works in class already, and so I know she admires him as an author. I believe she'll appreciate this lesser known yet underrated novel in which he deviates from his usual single protagonist focus and intertwines multiple character stories. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rohit, and I chose Madame Dioptal, my AP French teacher, because ever since I had her in sophomore year, she's made learning French really fun and taught me to approach the language with enthusiasm, which was nice because until I had her, I didn't really enjoy the language, but now I find it really fun to learn. I chose the book Refugee because it's a fun story about 3 refugees who find a home after their current homes are destroyed by war and conflict, and it highlights some of the more difficult aspects of being a refugee, like constantly feeling like you're not belonging. And the fun thing I find about the book is that most of the characters in the book, it combines 3 narratives, do find a happy ending. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Haset Belachu, and I actually also choose Madame Dioptal because I've had her as my French teacher every year of high school except this one, and because I took AP French last year. And even now, I still work with her through the French Honor Society, and she's been such an important part of my high school experience, and I'm very grateful for everything she's done for me, including writing my rec letter and just being a mentor and like an important person in my life who I can look up to at school. And I chose the book Le Grand Monde by Alain Fournier because of its themes of longing, discovery, and change that are really emotional and timeless, and I knew that Madame would appreciate a story that with that kind of depth. And yeah, just thank you so much.
Now you have some reading to do over December break.
Hi, I'm Abhiman, and I chose Mr. King because he's helped me grow as a student and a singer throughout my high school years. I've had him all 4 years in high school, and I feel like every day, even though it might be early in the morning, I feel excited to go to his class and to sing in chorus. And the book I chose is Death Note because I love the story, and the artwork reminds me of Mr. King's emo phase that he tells us about in class.
So I chose Mrs. McCarthy from AP Bio, which I have this year. Mrs. McCarthy embodies everything I believe a great teacher should be, as her approach to teaching goes beyond simply just delivering content, and she genuinely cares about her students' understanding and growth. She's patient and compassionate, and she takes time to ensure everyone grasps difficult concepts, which I really do find AP Bio very difficult. And she also maintains very high standards at the same time, and that pushes us to excel in her class. And what sets her apart is her authenticity and optimism. She creates a very comfortable class environment where students are allowed to grow and ask questions, which strikes like a very perfect balance between maintaining clear expectations while still being approachable, which I think is very important. Mrs. McCarthy has been a guiding force in my academic journey this year, demonstrating that effective teaching comes from genuine investment in student success, and her impact extends far beyond just biology, as she's taught me the values of patience, critical thinking, and approaching challenges with a positive mindset. I chose Alice in Wonderland for the book to give her because it perfectly captures the balance between depth and lightheartedness that I value. On the surface, it appears to be an absurd, whimsical story about a girl lost in a fairy tale world, but beneath it lies a carefully crafted world full of funny and clever wordplay, logical and scientific puzzles, and thoughtful details that reveal Lewis Carroll's dedication and love for this story. So what makes this book special to me is how it celebrates curiosity and wonder in the face of the impossible. So Alice navigates a confusing, illogical world by staying curious and maintaining her sense of self despite constant challenges. And this approach to uncertainty and the unknown is something I aspire to carry throughout my life as well. The childlike wonder and imagination woven throughout the story represents qualities I hope to never lose. The ability to remain curious, embrace the absurd, find joy in experience, and approach life's puzzles with both determination and good humor. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kayla Fang, and I had Mr. Visconti for AP US History in junior year. Mr. Visconti has helped me grow more confident in a subject area that I once knew little about. From his engaging stories to entertaining classroom discussions, I discovered my interest in social justice, which I have merged with my passion for medicine through exploring bioethics. I have learned so much from him, and not just about history, but also about how to be a better student and which history movies are worth watching. I selected the book Radium Girls by Kate Moore because it highlights not only the ethical failures of early medical practices, but also the fight for labor reforms and workplace protections during the progressive era, connecting my passions for bioethics and the social conditions that we learned about in APUSH. I hope Mr. Visconti enjoys this powerful tale about courage and perseverance and can use it as inspiration for stories in his future classes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lev, and I chose Mr. Peklo not because I had him as a teacher, but because I had him as a club and team advisor for chess club and chess team. And I selected Mr. Peklo because as I progressed through high school, I came to see him as not only a club advisor, but also as a friend who made me laugh and understood me as a person and was generally just a very important figure to me in school and someone I could look up to. And I selected the book, What If? Serious Scientific Answers to Absurd Hypothetical Questions by Randall Munro, because not only is it, well, a math book, which, well, Mr. Peklo teaches math, but I think it perfectly encapsulates his fun and energetic personality, and I think it could definitely be future inspiration for his future classes and just connecting with his students and other members of chess club and chess team. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sanvi Kulkarni, and I chose Mr. Lemon, my AP Econ teacher, because he's the kind of teacher who makes you forget that you're in a classroom and feel like a lot of the time you're in a conversation that actually matters. He's someone that you can go to anytime for quite literally anything, and he'll always be willing to talk. For anybody who's ever had him, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that his sense of humor is unmatched. But in addition to the jokes, he also has this ability to make economics feel alive and connected to the real world. Throughout the year, we talked about politics through economic concepts, debated policies like real economists, and constantly circled back to how theory meets people's lives. And it was so much fun to be able to discuss these things in class, and one of the things that really made me fall in love with economics in the first place. The book I chose is called The Road to Freedom, Economics and the Good Society. And I chose this because it explores what true economic freedom means for people. It looks at the trade-offs between opportunity and power, between individual choice and corporate influence, and how a good society is something that balances them. That's something that Mr. Lemon always emphasized, that efficiency in economics should also be allocative, should benefit people. This book reminds me of how he taught us to think critically and compassionately, to see the systems behind everyday life, and to question who benefits from them. So thank you, Mr. Lemon.
Hi, my name is Gwen Mistel, and I chose Mrs. Segalis not just because she teaches biotechnology, which is my favorite class, but also because she is just a fantastic teacher. The time I have spent in her class has been so amazing. She manages to make even just taking notes and listening to a lecture like one of the most fun experiences ever. And I love performing all the labs with my friends. And I really think Ms. Segalis has this really unique ability to make like anything into an interesting, fun, and valuable lesson, not just for biology, but for life as well. And the book I chose was Jurassic Park. It is one of my all-time favorite stories, and at every age, it just gets me interested in science in some way, whether it was when I was young, the dinosaurs, or the like intricate ethical and scientific details it has, but that interest me now. But I mean, the dinosaurs still interest me now. And I remember in the first few weeks of Biotech 1 talking about this book, and it was a really special full circle moment for me. And I wanted to share this book that has made me so interested in biology with the teacher that has also made me so interested in biology. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Anthra, and I've had Mr. Reyes as both a freshman and a junior. He played a major role in helping me explore a subject I entered high school knowing nothing about. His teaching style made biology feel exciting and approachable, and he was willing to answer every question I brought his way, no matter how ridiculous it was. I've learned so much from him, and I'm grateful for the impact he's had on me. For my book, I chose Educated by Tara Westover because it shows how learning can open doors, challenge beliefs, and shape the person you become, experiences I've been fortunate enough to begin in Mr. Reyes' class. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Twisha, and I selected Mr. Coleman because he showed me that chemistry is not just for mad scientists. It explains everyday life, such as how my meltdowns are actually just exothermic reactions in disguise. He was always there to support us, and his enthusiasm is what motivated me to survive the roller coaster that was junior year. I selected the book Chemistry for Breakfast because it perfectly captures this idea of chemistry being so much more than a subject. As the title suggests, it's everywhere. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ansha, and I've had Miss Corson for 3 years in high school, and every moment has been enjoyable. I selected Miss Corson because she teaches with honesty and integrity. She never sugarcoats anything, and instead she pushes her students to rise to the challenge and become better versions of themselves. Her dedication to education has not only prepared me for math, but also real-world challenges with resilience and preparing me to face real-world challenges with resilience and confidence. I selected Fahrenheit 451 because it reflects the importance of truth, knowledge, and critical thinking, values that Ms. Corson has instilled in all of her students. Just as the book challenges readers to confront reality and think independently, she encourages us to look beyond implementing formulas and also prepares us for the real-world challenges.
Hi, my name is Emily Shu, and I chose Mrs. Biss, my English 3 honors teacher. So when I first read The Secret Garden, I loved it for its beautiful imagery and for its powerful messages of healing and the importance of connection. This story taught me to embrace those around me and to always follow my curious heart. Being a part of your class has always taught me so much, and just like how tending to the secret rose garden was a catalyst for the growth of the children within this book, being your student was really super integral to the development of my own self-confidence. This book is a comforting memory from my own childhood and one I hope you'll appreciate as well. Thank you for being my teacher, Mrs. Biss.
In Mr. Burrell's class, I grew significantly as a math student. I learned to use out-of-the-box thinking and creative problem-solving strategies, which took my math skills to the next level and changed the way I approach learning new concepts. This has helped me improve as a learner outside of math as well, including my science and history classes. For the impact that Mr. Burrell had on my academic journey, I wanted to recognize him today. I chose the book Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, because Richard Feynman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, embodied the way of thinking that Mr. Brill emphasized in his class. Whether he was trying to cut string beans faster or working on the Manhattan Project, I hope Mr. Brill enjoys this book, as Mr. Feynman's outlook on life embodies the way in which Mr. Brill teaches his class.
My name is Jaden, and the teacher I chose was Dr. S. Ramos. I had her for 2 years in both chemistry honors and AP chemistry, and although chemistry is a notoriously difficult subject, her enthusiasm and dedication made every class engaging and enjoyable. Although I wasn't the best student, Dr. S. Ramos's class helped me grow both as a person and in my studies. The book I'm gifting her is titled Anxious People. I read it pretty recently and I really enjoyed it. And though it has nothing to do with chemistry, it's a great descriptor of everyone in our class right before a test. I hope, Dr. S. Ramos, I hope you enjoy reading the book.
The teacher I chose was Dr. Fonarev, my teacher for AP Physics 1, AP Physics C Mechanics, and AP Physics C E&M. I chose him because of his classes and teachings, which are a highlight of my high school life. Having him as my only physics teacher for the last 3 years, he showed me through his amusing and impassioned lectures a world far beyond the book, from string theory to quantum physics to the Fermi paradox. Who would have thought that if you jump straight up, you don't have to fall back down? You can even move left and right. And of course, he has some very cool physics problems. And I chose my book, The Way Things Work, because it really shows how much physics is present in all parts of our everyday lives. It's intuitive and a fun read, combining complex physics with brilliant illustrations. And it is a perfect book for you and your grandson to explore together. Thank you, Doc Fon, for everything that you've done for me.
Egor Tolstenkov could not be with us tonight, but he chose Miss Dunleavy. Miss Dunleavy was his 3rd and 5th grade teacher, and according to Egor, he chose her because of all her support. She helped him educationally and emotionally and gave him all the tools he needed to be successful. He chose the book Surely You're Joking by Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman. Don't have my glasses, I apologize. Getting old. Mostly because part of the book talks about curiosity and overcoming challenges, and he appreciated everything you've done for him. Thank you.
If the students and their teachers could come up for a group photo, appreciate it.
And everybody in the audience should know that Dr. Fonarev is on the agenda this evening for retirement. We just want to thank him for all of his service.
If you could come up front, we'll do it in front of the table.
And I still have a sort of broken toe.
To get out of
Okay, we are going to continue on with the board meeting.
You're all welcome to stay and listen to the audit. You're also all welcome to not stay and listen to the audit. And while you're walking out, this is the board's favorite night of the year, and congratulations to everyone.
I'd like to invite up Scott McClellan and John Farina from PFK O'Connor Davis accounting firm.
I'm okay. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for the invitation to be here tonight to present the results of the 2025 fiscal year audit. The deadline was moved back to December 5th this year, which then got extended till whenever, we don't know yet, but your report's already been filed with the state before December 5th, so you're one of probably 25% of those that made it by the old deadline. I put together a package, just go over some of the highlights from the audit, and then, of course, open it up to any questions you have. And if there's a question that comes up as I'm going through the presentation, feel free to stop me as well. As I mentioned, the reports are final, and I want to thank the superintendent, Jessica, as well as Kylie, for all the help they gave us during the audit process. It does take a lot of time. We're in there doing a lot of procedures, making sure that the numbers that are accurately presented in the report. On the next page, it's not just a financial audit of just one area. We're looking at a lot of different areas when we do the audit. We're looking at how funds are spent from the general and school administration side, from the instructional side. We look at student services, some of that being your ASSA. We look at your transportation aid and how that money is spent, capital improvements, debt service, enterprise operations, which would be your food service program. So it really does encompass quite a few areas that we touch upon of your operations within the school district. The objective of the audit is really threefold. One is to put an opinion on your financial statements where we have to evaluate the financial numbers and determine whether the opinion should be a clean opinion, or if there's larger issues, whether it would be modified for some reason. So we have to perform the audit in accordance with our standards, which is U.S. generally accepted accounting principles, and then render an opinion, which the opinion this year is again unmodified, a clean opinion, meaning that the information that's presented in the audit is materially accurate and reasonably stated. The second procedure we have to follow is under government auditing standards, where we have to take a look at internal controls and compliance to federal and state laws and statutes. And then third, because you receive federal and state aid in excess of $750,000, we're also required to look at controls and compliance over some federal and state grants that we have to look at on a rotational basis once every 3 years. Your large grants have to be tested. So the large report that I believe you might have received over the weekend or on Friday is the ACFR, or the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. And you also would have received a smaller document, probably about 20 pages long, which is the management report, which is where we identify findings and so forth. So your ACFR is divided into 4 parts. The introductory section is really the section provided for the most part by the district themselves. It's a transmittal letter, which kind of just describes some of the accomplishments. The financial section, which is where the auditor's report is presented, and it also includes an MD&A, which is a management's discussion analysis. That's about 10 pages long and gives a real nice overview of the current year, prior year, and then a little bit back to 2 years ago as to where the financial results have changed from year to year. Towards the back of the reports, the statistical section, it's 20 different schedules that provide unaudited information that for the most part, again, is provided to us by the township, as well as internally, which talks about things like enrollment, size of your school district, the buildings you own, taxes, and so forth. So it's a nice 20-page document to kind of summarize some of the statistical stuff that goes on throughout a 10-year history of financial information. And then lastly is the single audit section, where it documents the testing of the controls and compliance over your federal programs and state programs. So on the next page is just a summary of the operating results for the most significant fund, which is your general fund. As I mentioned previously, your independent audit report opinion is unmodified. Again, to be clear, that's a clean opinion, highest level that can be placed on financial statements. Some of your financial statement highlights: the fund balance, which is in excess of 2% at the end of the year, there's no zero. Anything above 2% has to be used towards the next budget. At the end of 2025, the current year operations did not generate any excess surplus. Fund balance that was used for the 25-26 budget was $1.868 million, which includes $859,000 of the prior year excess surplus. You have capital reserve funds set aside for $6.8 million. That's down about $3 million from where it was in the prior year. Your maintenance reserve is $1 million. That's $500,000 higher than it was in the prior year. You have an emergency reserve of about $838,000, unemployment reserve set aside for $543,000, and then your fund balance 2% base is $3.9 million. As part of the procedures, as I mentioned, we have to look at controls as well as compliance to various aspects of your operations. And we identified two findings this year that I'll discuss briefly. Finding 2025-001 in the audit report related to a lease that has been a consistent lease year after year. And in looking at the records this year, that lease, funds were being spent for the lease, but the lease was never implemented. So we had to move certain expenditures from, that were paid to charge against a lease that didn't exist. We had to move them into the general fund to make sure there was a budget line to absorb them. The one thing I want to be clear about is the result of that did not result in overexpending the entire budget. The entire budget was not overexpended. It did affect certain capital lines. So when you look at the C1 in your report, there are certain lines that are overexpended because it was after the chance where you would have to make transfers. Had it been notified before the year end, you would have been able to make transfers to cover those over expenditures. So line items, not the entire budget. And then the second finding related to the payroll agency account reconciliation. Upon looking at the payroll agency account, we identified some reconciling items on there, and looking into them further, it looked like there were between December and February of 24 and 25 months, there were some inaccurate items that were carried on there, and in looking into them further, we worked with Jessica and Kylie to kind of dig deeper into it and spent a little time going through and finding what was going on. And it looked like there was a lot of payroll turnover of individuals during that period of time where all this stuff happened. And it resulted in certain amounts not being remitted to the IRS on time. I know that the first batch was about $900,000, which was corrected quickly. And then we identified another $600,000 that was subsequently submitted to them as well. So you've not been charged with any penalties at this point. I think taking the appropriate corrective action timely to get this thing addressed avoided potential penalties. Next page, we also, as I mentioned earlier, we have to look at certain federal and state programs. This year's programs were IDA Special Education, which is your largest federal program, subsequent to the COVID money being no longer available. And then from the state grant side, we looked at extraordinary aid, which relates to special education costs for students in excess of $40,000 or $55,000. We looked at your transportation aid, and then we also looked at the funds spent on your ROD grants, which came from the NJSDA, which hadn't been available for about 5 or 6 years, or are now being back into play. And Livingston was able to take advantage of some of those for some of the maintenance type items in the district. And then lastly, there were 3 other minor findings, 2025-03, which related to timely deposits of student activity funds. 25-004 were the athletic account bank reconciliations at the high school, had some old outstanding items that needed to be looked into and cleared up. And then the capital asset records need to be updated a little bit more timely. They were by the time the audit was done, but they weren't kept up to date during the year. So with that, I'd be happy to open up to any questions you have regarding anything in the report or anything that I went over this evening. Thank you.
I'm just going to follow up real quick on that, just to let the board members know what actions we've taken to ensure that everything is going forward clean. Yes. Obviously, finding 2025-001, we immediately were able to, once we realized that the leases hadn't been secured, I was able to go out and secure the leases, so we do have funding going forward for those lease purchases. So that has been taken care of, and going forward, as soon as the budget is approved in May, I will be going out for capital lease purchase agreements for proposals for those to ensure that they're done in a timely fashion and ready to go at the beginning of every fiscal year going forward. I think that was that one. And then for 02, with the payroll, a large part of that was, as Scott mentioned, was because we had a tremendous amount of turnover. We now have somebody who has been there and he reconciles everything on a monthly basis. We go through that to ensure that everything is being remitted timely, and he has been working diligently, as Scott, spoke about us making sure that we're up to date with everything. He has been instrumental in helping us do that, and he does a monthly reconciliation that we all take a look at. So going forward, we have controls in place to ensure that everything will be paid on a timely basis, and we are up to date on everything.
Yeah, and I think from the lease perspective, the timing was very strange on that. There were a group of people leaving and new people coming in, and I think it's one of those things that just fell through the cracks at the time. Thank goodness we started the audit early, because it identified the one to get the next one up and going, otherwise we'd be in the situation 2 years in a row, which is great. From a payroll perspective, the individual that you have on board right now met with one of my supervisors. He came out here to kind of get a feel for, are things being done properly since March? And I think he got a very good feel that he's very competent and is doing things correctly. And we haven't had any of those reconciling items or incorrect remissions to the IRS since the February time period. So I think that those have been overcome, and with the person you have on board right now, he seems to be very competent to be able to handle those situations.
He is, thank you. And then the last three findings, the business related to the deposits that were not being made timely. Memo will be going out tomorrow to the staff that handles those, and outlining the specific procedures and ensuring that the deposits are made on a very timely basis so that we don't have this issue going forward. And the checks, we now have implemented that on a yearly basis. We will look at any outstanding checks to see if they need to be either reissued, or if not reissued, we can cancel them. So you will be seeing those on agendas. We had done that with the ones that we found from the student athletics on an agenda, and we will continue to do so to stay on top of that, so that we don't have these outstanding items carrying over on our reconciliations. And lastly, the capital assets, we have now identified the process that needs to be done in order to report the capital assets to the firm that handles that, and we will be doing that on a regular basis.
And just one more thing around comment number 3, which is the student activity funds. This happens a lot in most districts, because what happens is a parent will write a check, they'll give it to the child will take it and hand it to it, and it'll be like $30. And then the teacher says, I'm not gonna take this in and deposit it now, I'm gonna wait until I get everyone in. Well, they really can't do that. They should be depositing things more timely. Things get lost if they sit around or disappear and so forth. So it's just a better practice to get them in within a week's time, and not sit around for a couple months or whatever while we're waiting for everybody else to get their deposits in. So very common, very consistent with what we see across the board in the state of New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. So first, thank you for all the hard work in performing the audit and the report. It is a very important portion of what we do, and of course, our appreciation to the administration for quickly addressing the issues. Let me open it up to the board for any questions.
Just wanted to thank you for addressing the questions before the board meeting, if we had any. And it seems that the appropriate checks are in place now, so that you're tracking things ongoing. So I appreciate that.
Of course.
Yeah, and thank you. I know that multiple times I was reaching out, but thank you very much for answering all the questions. Thanks.
Yeah, same thing. As a new member, seeing the audit is a little bit overwhelming. And I reach out and just spend the whole hour sitting with me, explain line by line, what does it mean? And just, as a board member, and I think I asked some questions and I got really, not say satisfying, but, very transparent answers, honest answers. And I, as a board member, feel much better. And thank you for all the hard work. Thank you. And thank you for all the things.
Yeah, I'd also like to add, when I reviewed the audit, with accounting background, I think it was very thorough. I didn't reach out with questions, but I do appreciate having been able to review it before today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Yep, you too. Now we have Mr. Stern, who's going to go over the new courses for the Livingston Public Schools.
Thank you, Dr. Fishbein. I'm very excited to be back in cleanup tonight. I've said this before, but I really do love giving this presentation on an evening like this because you really get to see why we do what we do. Our students are incredible and they accomplish greatness at all levels in several areas of learning and in life. You see the importance of the connection between our brilliant students and our outstanding, dedicated teachers. We have to work to keep up, and we have to work to keep challenging and stoking the interests of our students, and that's really what brings us to taking a look at our curricula. Tonight's presentation is the work of many. I just get to say it out loud. Teachers, supervisors, students, and directors look into our work, they look at our curricula, they look at our success, and they look at our needs, and many of them are here tonight. I thank them for coming. We receive feedback from the community and we respond accordingly. We look at trends, we look at data, and we look for opportunities. And with that, I'm excited to give you the update for new and revised course offerings this year. And I will be quick as I can because I only have so much finger strength. First and foremost, we are looking to change the name of our transportation and auto systems 1 and our auto mechanics to energy, power, and transportation 1 and energy, power, and transportation 2. And the reason for that is because it truly represents what these courses continue to evolve to be. We will continue to do the basics of automotive, to work on the mechanics of the combustible engine, but it also works to include planes and flights, energy sources, and the use of the power grid. This realignment is in line with the current industry trends, and the more comprehensive name represents work that's being done both in post-secondary work and in the industry. So we're really excited to do that. The sustainability science course, this had been a course that was the kind of final step in our sustainability pathway. And we're going to change it to be a full year lab elective open to any student who has completed environmental science at any level. During the first year, any students who are currently taking natural resources and ecology can register for the course to complete the pathway. But that leads us to the next slide, Dan. Oh, thank you so much, Dan. My weak hand really thanks you. But it also speaks to the sustainability science pathway, which we are going to discontinue. We will allow people who are currently enrolled in it to finish. But ironically, the sustainability science pathway has not been sustainable. We haven't had the enrollment in the course, and therefore we'll stop doing the natural resource and ecology class. Also, next year, we're going to remove from the course catalog web design, really because it's become obsolete. It is amazing that our technology courses are continuing to revitalize themselves to the point that something that we had just implemented, within the last decade has become obsolete. A lot of it is done through AI, but all of the basics of the work are absorbed in our different computer science curricula. Okay, now moving backwards to move forwards, we would like to reimagine our 6th grade Math C course to become 6th grade Math B Lab. This actually works to make the secondary curriculum more unified across the district. It would be another half-year course in with the Math B Lab. So you would have one semester, you would have the course every day, and then for the other semester, you would have the course twice a day. This gives our students more time with their teachers, and their teachers would teach both sections of the class or both class periods of the course, and it gives students more time to interact with curricula and have the guidance of their teachers. It would work similarly to the way the lab courses at Heritage run and our algebra, geometry, and algebra 2 lab courses work at the high school. This allows for consistency in our program, as I had mentioned earlier. Word study and the 95% phonics program. 2 years ago, we came and we talked about our excitement after we had a team of teachers and supervisors and interventionists look into a true word study program, and we found 95% phonics. We introduced it in the first year to kindergarten and first grade. This year, we are implementing it across the district in the second grade, and we look to continue that work next year with the third grade. Again, working on phonology and phonemic awareness, letter sound decoding, encoding, vocabulary, morphology, fluency, and passage comprehension, now at the third grade level. Math in Focus. I feel like we've done this every year because we have. This was a program that was implemented before we started COVID, and we have now worked its way grade by grade incrementally throughout all the courses. It is now working its way into the 8th grade. Again, Algebra 1 will continue to run. Geometry will continue to run as separate courses. This is infused as strategies, students doing hands-on learning and heuristics within the 8th grade curriculum. Brand new for next year, we are excited to propose AP Business with Personal Financial Literacy. College Board has now introduced 2 of their 3 AP Kickstarter courses. This one is an overarching introduction to to business principles at the college level. Students will receive a certificate of completion. It is focusing both on the academic side of it and the practical business side of it, which is why they call it the Kickstart, so that it is a real world ready course that students are then acknowledged for their completion of. We are very excited to start this course. It is going to be brand new, not only for us next year, but across the nation next year. Rob Rowling, working with his teachers, and Alex Lamont have already started to preview some of the course materials, and we are very confident that it's going to be a very popular course at Livingston High School next year. That said, one of the other AP Kickstart courses that is currently being introduced is the AP Cybersecurity. We are not going to introduce that this year, but I hope that this can now be a preview to what we're hopefully going to be introducing next year for the following year. Ceramics 3. Ceramics 3 is one of the courses that really came up through feedback of students and teachers alike. We have found that we have several students who are truly enjoying the creation of 3D art, but are not necessarily ready or interested in doing it at the AP level. So another year of work in the course, either pushing into the AP course or with the Ceramics 2, gives them that additional year to start to generate a portfolio and recognize either their ability to take the AP in their 4th year at high school, or have another experience to create meaningful art for themselves. And finally, 2 years in the making, we're very excited to announce that we have officially started a partnership with the College of New Jersey. We had worked with them over the last 3 years now, creating an in-house master's program for our teachers on getting their administrative degree and doing some learning within Livingston public schools. Now we're working with them to create a teaching and learning pathway. We reached out to them as we're having these ongoing conversations about teaching is the greatest profession in the world. You see it tonight. You see the way it inspires the youth of America, and there's no greater job in the world, and we need more great teachers. So we need to be part of that process. We reached out to the College of New Jersey and said, can we teach some of your education courses and hopefully get students involved who are interested in potentially having a career in education, get their start in Livingston High School. And they enthusiastically said yes. They have agreed to allow us to teach 4 of their courses. So we have their Schooling in the American Dream, the Child and Adolescent Development, Children's Multicultural Literature, and Special Education in the Arts. Together, we are going to use those courses to create a new teaching and learning pathway at the high school. So all students will take who are interested in the pathway, which will work like any of our other pathways. There are on-ramps, there are off-ramps. If you want to take a course and not take the pathway, you're welcome to do that. All we're trying to do is create a bundle of courses that make sense together in an area of interest. If that is, sorry, stay there, Dan, I got to read. If that is something that you're interested in doing, next year we would offer the Schooling in the American Dream and the Child and Adolescent Development. More on that in a moment. Those are the 2 dual enrollment courses that will start next year. Students who are interested in continuing on with the pathway would either take human behavior or sociology or AP psychology, and then do their senior internship, which we have tipped over the tipping point on that, because the overwhelming majority of our students are now participating in the senior internship, or do our elementary educational experience course. And then they need to do at least one of the following. Either take the Children's Multicultural Literature course, which is the dual enrollment, or the Special Education in the Arts course, both of which we will start in the 27-28 school year. Take the elementary experience, and then a second one of the Human Behavior, Sociology, or AP Psychology course. We're very excited to, create our video for Course Preview Day. But, for anybody watching at home, what a great opportunity to get involved in the world of education. That will be another one of our presentations for the students. Finally, in order to be prepared for the Child and Adolescent Development, the dual enrollment course with TCNJ, we are going to rework our current Family and Child Development 1 and 2, the 2-semester courses, combine them, reconstruct them a little bit to fit the needs of the TCNJ course. Again, that said, any student who is taking Family and Child Development 1 this year will have the opportunity to finish with the second if that was something that they had planned to do. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you, Mr. Stern. There is a reason we put you last, because you always bring the energy. Are there questions from the board?
Just thank you. This is amazing. I've seen the tremendous work that goes in. Been at the table with all of you. Thank you for all your work. Thank you for all the hard work and constantly thinking about our kids. Thank you.
Yep, sitting in the curriculum committee meeting is a true pleasure every single time. To see the whole room was filled with energy and enthusiasm and the true love for teaching our kids. Those kids are lucky to have you. Thank you so much.
Just a couple of questions about first 6th grade math B lab. I know you mentioned in the presentation that Math B lab will replace world language. So can you talk a little bit about students' access to world language in 6th grade during that other semester or another year?
So currently, world language is 1 semester that is paired with the craft of language. What this would do is the second period of the Math B lab would replace that world language course. It is an exposure course that is actually replicated and elaborated on in the 7th and 8th grade. Those 2 courses combined become like the equivalents of a Spanish, a French one, a Spanish one, a Chinese one, and then students can take the following levels at the high school. Many students actually choose to start the foundational level again at the high school level. So there are multiple opportunities, to get exposure and to start within the grade band of standards that are at the world language level for 6th through 8th grade. At the same time, we are looking right now at also creating a cycle course that allows for introduction to some of these, skills for students that are going to take the Math B Lab in world language as its own cycle course.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
In AP Business with Personal Finance, is that one course going to fulfill the New Jersey personal financial literacy requirement?
Thank you for asking that question. The answer is yes. They've actually built in the and personal financial literacy for really that purpose. It is the last unit of the course of study, addresses all the personal financial literacy. Although, to be honest with you, it's also throughout the course of the lesson. But this is then like the post the post AP test. It becomes that last unit that specifically addresses it. Rob, I said that correctly? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. At the course. Thank you for that. And then just a couple of questions about the TCNJ partnership, which is very exciting.
Sure.
That you worked with them for our teachers and you're now working with them for our students. I was wondering if any of the credit that students might get for these courses would apply to any other colleges, and how these courses will show up on their transcript for any college credit that they might be earning.
Sure. So like any of our other dual enrollment courses, they would receive a transcript from TCNJ that they can then share with any college that they're applying to. I don't want to speak universally about what the different colleges do with those transcripts, but those are earned college credits. I will tell you that, through our own conversation with TCNJ, we hope that this partnership goes beyond the students' 4 years here. They are very interested in getting students interested in teaching and learning, getting exposure to their courses, and then certainly transferring those, those credits to anyone who might be interested in the world of education. Again, we don't recommend one university over another, but we do work with TCNJ. It's where we meet a lot of our own teachers.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just have one question about Math in Focus for grade 8. When does that start? You said it's a continuation. So does that start in 6th grade and then went up to 7th and 8th?
So we've actually started it in the 1st grade, and it has been traveling with our current 7th graders ever since. So this is actually the last year. I won't be back next year to talk about Math in Focus grade 9. It actually ends here. The sequence ends with the 8th grade curriculum.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, my turn. So this is a question across 6th grade Math B, grade 3 World Study Curriculum, and Math in Focus grade 8, which is, have you thought about the measurement plan for how we're going to measure the impact of, as I'm looking at my favorite measurement presenter back there, for each of those changes? Sure.
So, we've been having the ongoing conversation, as we look at our NJSLA scores, particularly in the 6th and the 8th grade. And that's actually what led to a lot of this conversation along the way. So we have to make sure that we're looking not only at class assessments as part of the program and how well our students are achieving then, look at that in context with the NJSLA and other standardized tests. It's one of the reasons why we brought in the Renaissance testing as well, so that we have to make sure that we are not just skill drill, a constant assessment, but that we are taking the time to recognize where our students are, to skills trace, and to make sure that we're addressing any learning needs along the way.
Sure. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay. All right, that takes us to board reports. Are there any board reports this evening? I have one. I have an update something that we have been hoping to share for some time, which is we are finally in the final steps of acquiring Monmouth Court. The land needed to be subdivided, and that subdivision is now complete. And so the last two steps are conveyance and the official sale, and that will happen in the first month or two of 2026, and we will finally have Monmouth Court as a Livingston Public Schools property once again.
Did we give them $1?
We will in February. Your turn.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Well, first off, I just wanted to say, obviously they're not here anymore, but congratulations to all the girls soccer team and the National Merit semifinalists. Very impressive. I'm very impressed with both of them on an athletic standpoint and an academic standpoint. For what I did this month in terms of my position as on the Board of Ed is I joined the Culture and Climate Committee call about a week or two ago, which is a meeting where teachers from LHS meet to just talk about the culture at LHS, climate, anything that goes under that. And they specifically were talking about the plan that they have for the upcoming Multicultural Night in April, which is very exciting. I'm very excited for that. It's going to allow students from all across the high school and many different clubs to join that and participate, share their culture. So I think that's going to be an awesome opportunity for the high school, especially because I don't think one's happened before or not in very long, never before. So that's very exciting. And on top of that, at the end of the call, I got to talk a little bit about what it's like being a student at LHS and just how teachers can prioritize the needs of an LHS student and all that stuff. And they were very receptive. So that was very successful. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion on the approval of minutes, please?
So moved.
Second?
Any questions or comments on the minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka?
Yes.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That takes us to public comment. If there is public comment in the room, please step forward to the podium. The timer will be up on the screen.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, teachers, and everyone here tonight. My name is Eliana Kaplan. I'm 16 and I'm a junior at LHS High School. I have dyslexia and ADHD. For most of elementary school, I couldn't understand why I was struggling to keep up with my classes. I felt anxious and alone. I suffered from low self-esteem and I dreaded going to school because everything felt impossible. I was sure that I was the only kid who couldn't keep up. If I could go back and speak to my younger self, I would have explained that these are challenges that can be overcome. And I would, with hard work, learn how to learn, and I would be taking honors and AP courses in high school. I'm here today to talk to you about an initiative that I have undertaken to share my story with other students with learning disabilities. About 2 years ago, I started mentoring Brave Minds. My goal was to pair high school students who've navigated learning disabilities with elementary students who have learning disabilities, to play reading games, to do art projects, to practice focus tricks, simple things that make learning fun instead of terrifying. And importantly, to make sure young students with learning disabilities have that they are not alone. Now that I've spent time with younger students facing similar learning challenges, I see how this simple gesture can have a truly positive impact. The need is urgent. Children with disabilities are 4.5 times more likely to experience mental health problems than children without a learning disability. That statistic isn't just a number, it was my childhood, and it's the childhood many of our youngest students are living right now. I'm here tonight to ask you to bring this kind of peer mentoring into our schools. For all the kids with learning disabilities who would like to meet older students who can share their experience and encouragement. Because right now, at this very moment, there are dozens of children just like me. They feel isolated, they feel different, and they don't know if they will ever be able to keep up. I'm not exaggerating. In just the last 2 weeks, my Facebook and Instagram accounts have been flooded by Livingston moms inviting me to spend time with their children. I hope that my initiative is supported by the board, but even if you cannot consider or approve my proposal, please do something for these students. I needed this when I was little. Today's elementary students shouldn't have to wait any longer. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd love to help Livingston make this happen.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a proud mom. I'm Eliana's mom. I'm also a
Just
dyslexic.
state your name for the record.
Eleni Kaplan, Eliana's mom. I'm a dyslexia interventionist and special education teacher in a nearby district. Every day I work with the children my daughter Eliana just described. I see the ones who walk in with their heads down, who apologize before they even try, who whisper at 7 years old, "Am I stupid?" I watch them fight tears over a single sound, and I watch the light leave their eyes when they fall behind their classmates. They are bright, capable kids carrying a weight most adults couldn't manage. Eliana sat in those same seats not long ago. She came home in tears more times than I can count, convinced that she was broken. When the low self-esteem she talked about became overwhelming, the school did offer counseling, and I will forever be grateful for that support because it helped. But I also know from both lived experience and professional experience that sometimes the most powerful medicine is not only talking to an adult in an office, sometimes it's looking across the table at another young person who can say, "I've been exactly where you are and I understand." For many of these kids, that peer connection is just as healing, if not more, because it makes the future feel real and reachable. We already know the numbers. Children with disabilities are many times more likely to battle anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. We also know that early, consistent emotional support can change everything. Peer mentoring, the kind that Eliana is already offering in the community, is effective and it's low cost. This isn't about replacing counseling, it's about adding another layer of hope that only someone who's walked the same road can give. These kids are under crushing stress every single day, and they're counting on us to do more than feel sorry for them. Let's give them peers who understand, adults who believe in them, and a district that refuses to let them feel alone. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments in the room? Are there any comments online? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment and move us forward to item 1, program and curriculum. Can I have a motion on items 1.1 and 1.2, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka?
Yes.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving forward to item 2, student services. Can I have a motion on 2.1 and 2.2, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka?
Yes.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving forward to item 3, business. Can I have a motion on 3.1 through 3.8, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes, except for checks 114129 and 114006.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka?
Yes.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving forward to item 4, personnel. Can I have a motion on 4.1 through 4.11, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mrs. Berman?
I just want to congratulate all of our retirees. The 4 retirees have a cumulative service record of 113 years. So Michelle Matten is 33, Dr. Fonarev is 25, Ms. Caulfield is 26, and Ms. Bowman is 29 at the end of this school year.
Wow. Thank you. And on behalf of the board, we wish them all well in their retirement. Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka?
Yes.
Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving forward to item 5, can I have a motion on 5.1 and 5.2, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Charles?
Yes.
Mrs. Gong?
Yes.
Mrs. Kemka? Mrs. Yelisevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Are there any items of old business this evening? Are there any items of new business this evening? Can I please have a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters?
So moved.
Second.
Yes. No action will be taken in the executive session, and we will not return to the public session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.